Okay, we should be a go. Let me just... Oh no. Okay. Yes, we should be a go. Just make sure everything sounds good. Hello, hello. Just make sure everything sounds good. Hello, hello. Okay. Then we can start the game, make sure everything sounds good there. I feel bad. I don't know who made this. I just downloaded a bunch of images at one point and made them my background. Okay. Have that volume turned up? Yep, okay. Should be good to go. Okay. So part of my daily routine is always to do some extra artifact farming beyond what just resin can give you. And so I'm just gonna go through that today. I naturally do it every day, so. I wonder if we'll ever visit the place in Genshin where that's depicted in the loading screen. I imagine that's Celestia, but it kinda looks like it's in ruins. So, I mean, there's so many rug pulls that Genshin can still pull on us. I don't know if you saw the trailer, but they're doing spaceships. Like, I thought it was a more like magical transportation of like how the travelers got into Teyvat. Like, I thought it would be like, oh yeah, we kind of have reality warping powers or something. We open portals maybe sometimes. But no, it turns out it's just a spaceship, just pure science, which is fine. Okay. Always start in Natlan. Okay, let me just make sure my volume's okay. Okay, let me just make sure my volume's okay. The volume of the game. Hmm? The volume of the game. I wonder if you can even hear the game. I wonder if you can even hear the game.
My legs. My legs.
Okay, that should be fine. Okay, that should be fine.
Sore.
Okay. Now to get
Add
started.
Astra.
I can record. Okay. Hello, okay. So today, to start, I'm going to take you guys on my daily artifact routes. In case you don't know, beyond just using resin to get artifacts, which is the most common method, there's also investigation spots throughout the world like this, where they're glittering and you can investigate them. You get like 100 of those per day, and if you know the right ones, you can make sure all 100 of those give you 1 to 2 star artifacts. Not something you can use, but something you can use to level up your actual 5-star artifact.
The wind rises.
Let's ride.
Okay. Oh. Yes, I do need to change that. I need to change my category to Genshin. Thank goodness. Okay. That should be good enough. So I always start with this one. I'll come back to explain why this one is important to start with every day, but it's important to get the bird to show the investigate spot and then not take it. My A route for A days, I have 2 routes. I alternate days between them because sometimes the investigation spots take 24 hours to respawn, and I don't want to keep in mind that I started at, what, 4 p.m. one day, and then the next day I should start later than 4 p.m. It's a little too much, so having an A route and B route prevents like that level of like them conflicting with each other. This is an artifact spot, but it is just I farm along the way. So yes, only the one furthest out here is an artifact spot.
Take it easy.
And this is a team specifically built to
Behold.
traverse the world faster. You can obviously still do this with any teammates. You might just need to climb or sprint some. 2 on this level. And then all 3 on this level. Then 2 on this level. Try not to read the notebook, but it's sometimes hard. There's usually some crystals out here. And then
Too slow.
last one is on this level. I'll try to make a tally, but you get 100 investigate spots per day, and after that they all despawn the next time you teleport. Okay, Hydro Crystal Fly. The next one starts over here. These 2 guys.
Savor the show with peace. Busted.
Please appreciate.
Behind here's one. I keep a Roron on this team just to make it easier to climb at certain points, but for most of it,
you have packed ample food stuff.
I do use Shenyun. I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder. That was something. Okay, and we're done here. That took me all the way from here to here. I normally just do the start, have a marker for the start of these places, because I'm so familiar with them by now, but you might want multiple markers on your minimap, just to make it clear. Okay. You know what? Actually, close that window in case that's messing things up. That was 1, 2. A finicky thing about these is that sometimes they go up and then they disappear behind the bookshelf, which is why I use Wanderer with some height advantage, because if they go up first, then Wanderer can still get them before they disappear behind the bookshelves, but if you just use someone else, you might not be able to harvest all the ones that are on that bookshelf. Make sure to skip that one. And yeah, those were the 3 Fontaine locations, so now we're heading off to the Smear Desert. I am certainly not the fastest at doing this, even though I have characters that are fast. You could probably shave off a full minute from what I normally do, if you were really focusing. That said,
Quit following me.
you'd also have to probably
Quit following
be a
me.
little focused during that time, and I've always taken Genshin as a very chill game, even though doing this is sweaty.
Squall and Fury.
Doing that artifact spot always spawns that snake. If you kill it, you get some strange meat. Hey, it shouldn't be that hard to kill. You can also kill things along these routes. I don't normally do so. I usually have enough of any material.
Sucker for a punch.
It took me a long time to learn these exact routes. Like, I had to follow the video every day, so totally understandable if it's not immediately clicking. Especially which ones to skip is always annoying. That one you skip, but not this one. This one's 4.
Rev the engines!
Behold.
Quietly now.
That's all for this one. I also, when marking the spots, I keep up track of the number that should be there. That was useful towards the beginning when I had to like count each one to make sure. Now I just remember it, and if I have missed one, it's not the end of the world.
The wind rises.
Take it easy. Yeah! Skyward! Scatter! Full throttle!
Do I have an opinion on the fact that she's riding a motorcycle in Genshin?
Take it easy.
I kind of understand, like, tonally, but I also think that
Behold!
I don't know. I'm not that much of a purist in terms of like, oh, it has to be a medieval story. Like, clearly there are elements of it that are just so far beyond medieval. So right now, that was like the desert part. We're gonna head towards the rainforest now. For this section, you have to make sure that your, I can't remember, the Aranara area is set towards like the normal, that Vanarana is set towards just the normal, not in the dreamscape where all the actual Aranara are. Because if you're at the Aranara place, you don't get any artifact spots. Right.
Not bad. Rev the engines!
Yeah, I'm not that much of a purist. Like, she can ride a motorcycle because obviously it's cool. And like, the main thing about this game is the characters. They want to create cool characters that
The wind
sell.
rises.
And so everything else, from the world building to everything, is secondary to having the characters look cool. And as soon as we like establish that, then I understand, like, because it does look cool, so I can't be mad at it. I do wish it was like somewhat more clear of like a, I need to inspect it again, maybe somewhat more clear of like a magically inspired
Squall and Fury.
motorcycle rather than like pure Harley Davidson. I guess it doesn't really have the pipes. It looks more like a Tron motorcycle than anything. Maybe if the wheels were just not wheel colored, because I think maybe like another fantasy color on the wheels would have like been enough to like separate it from like, oh, those are like rubber. How in the world did you get rubber in like a pre-industrial society? Maybe it should not even have had wheels. Maybe it should have just like been like a hover thing. I think like the real sticking point is that it feels modern. I wouldn't mind it if it felt old or if it felt super new, because that both of those kind of I feel exist fine in Genshin. It's the fact that I kind of got mixed up there in my directions. But it's the fact that it feels just like, oh, 20, it feels 2000s, that makes it feel really out of place. That's kind of sad. I mean, you know, I'm a 2000s child, like,
Squall and Fury.
by which I mean I grew up in the 2000s, not I was born there, but it does really feel like that whole era like belongs nowhere other than where it was. What are the 2000s nostalgia movies? Like, they're out there right now. They have to be, but like, I don't know if like I remember them super well. Like, oh, this movie was so 2000. Not that it was so 2000, but it like, I'm not talking about movies that were released in the 2000s. I'm talking about movies that were released like this decade, trying to harken back to the nostalgia on the 2000s. Like, are we not there yet? Or am I just not remembering any of those movies? And I don't even know what, like, they would super harken back to. T-shirts? I'm not sure what distinguishes it from the from the 1990s. I feel like I could do 2010s like nostalgia better than I can do 2000 nostalgia. Probably not true. I'm just not like a scholar on decades. A cultural scholar on decades. I'm talking like fashion art trends is usually what we're talking about.
Behold.
I think we were more hopeful in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, okay, wait, 2001 was 9/11, so maybe that's why we're not doing nostalgia for the 2000s.
Law of the jungle.
Maybe we weren't hopeful. When's the last time we, as a nation, were hopeful? Oh, was it Obama? 2008? Okay, maybe.
Yeah! Skyward! Scatter!
Yeah, his whole campaign was hope. I would hope so. Okay, so I don't know if you were tabulating along. That should have been 99. That should have been my 99 spot right there. And so now I'm going to an area to get my 100th. And you get 100 per day, after which they all despawn. But they only despawn the next time you teleport. So if you end and you get your 100th in a location that is saturated with a bunch of artifact spots, then they won't despawn unless you teleport out of the area and teleport back in. You can even teleport within the area and you're fine. So this spot here, this like collection has, I believe, 25 or 28 honest. Okay, and I can get my 100th, and then the rest of those 27 will not despawn, so I can still get them, which brings like my total for today to like 127 rather than the normal conventional limit of 100. So 101 there, so we 102, and we can keep going.
Swan Fury.
Too slow. Too slow.
Nice. Oh. Yeah, that's the problem with doing her motorcycle and like stealing the areas she can climb. Okay. Now we can teleport back here. It's all in the same area, so it'll be okay. And this time we'll go north.
Behold.
Which is this door.
Try and stop me!
And yes, there's these
Yeah!
3
Skyward! Scatter!
over here. Then we teleport back to the same one. And now we go behind. And yeah, these have long hallways. So this is where like I truly
Rev
feel
the
like
engines!
these speedster characters are worth it. On a day-to-day basis, I don't know how much like I'm doing active overworld travel. Who would be the best president
Try and stop me!
in Genshin characters? Part of me says Ningguang, but I trust Ningguang because she's Ningguang. But I don't trust anyone else with the like single-handed power of Ningguang. She's like a one-man, a one-woman, like corporatocracy. Like
Behold.
in real life, I don't trust like anyone in the corporate world to like have people's backs when they control everything.
Skyward!
So yeah, her style of government, I just couldn't trust um, outside of her herself.
Rev the engines!
Is Mabuika a good leader? Like, she's a good wartime leader, but I don't know if she's a good peacetime leader. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a good wartime leader, and that she's like literally the strongest, and she leads from the front. That she inspires like confidence in troops. That is obviously all great. So that's 127. So now that we finished those 100 investigate spots, plus all the ones left over, there are still some extra that aren't that you have to like do something to reveal the investigation spot. And since they're not automatically loaded with the world, you can still get them to load
Of fair winds and
even
gentle
after your
rains,
initial
one
100.
needs not marshal the winds to deliver the rain clouds.
Maybe Cloud Retainer, honestly. She's got heart. She's got knowledge. Like, I mean, at that point though, wouldn't I just pick Zhongli? But Zhongli doesn't want it. But honestly, that's kind of a good thing, right? If you watch Game of Thrones, apparently the best person to lead is the one who does not want to lead. And I kind of get that, I really do. But I don't think that's always the case. The reluctant leaders. I mean, there's less likely to be an abuse of power, which I do really get. Maybe they were right with that. It's just the message got so
Squall and Fury.
infuriating with its execution in season 8 that I don't know if I truly want to like accept that as the truth. That the show was right on that respect, you know? There's something to be said though. The reluctant leaders less likely to probably abuse their power because they didn't like want power for the bad, selfish reasons. They just didn't want power. And I feel like if you recognize how much of a responsibility it is to other people, you wouldn't want power. And that's like the ideology behind that. I think it makes enough sense, but you know, if someone else has a political science degree or more historical knowledge, like who was the last person who didn't want power that was in power? Like George Washington. Yeah, he's like probably problematic in some ways, but in terms of like establishing like 2 terms, not wanting power, he could have been a dictator, right? Like by all accounts, he probably could have, like if he wanted to, been like dictator like Simon Bolivar. But he didn't. And so honestly that's pretty good. Established like a good 200 years of a semi-functioning republic.
Squall and Fury.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking about who else like did not want power but actually got power in history. Oh yeah, so the first place was in Sumeru. This Apham Wood, you just do a full circle and pop all the bubbles and you're good. Some of them are artifacts, some of them are not, but they're all good at that point. In the chasm, you just come here, break the barrels, break the pot, and then you get one. And then we come to Fontaine. And there are some empty cartridges left over, and once you destroy those, you get more artifact spots. I was thinking about making a YouTube video for this, but I should probably not do it on stream, because these have like completely different ideologies. If it's a YouTube video, it's just to get the information
The wind
out.
rises.
I probably wouldn't even like talk during it. Like, if you're watching a YouTube video about how to investigate artifacts, like, do you want to hear about George Washington? Maybe. But I feel like you'd be in the minority.
Behold.
Or maybe you'd be in the majority. Like, As an American, is there any moment that we shouldn't all want to be hearing about George Washington
Try
24/7?
and stop me.
Right? Like, if you don't want to hear about George Washington, are you even American? Sometimes I do wonder what these people sounded like. Like, what did George Washington sound like? You know? Like, are we bald eagling his voice? Like, his actual voice is probably maybe a little shrill and annoying, and then it just in our cultural recollection, we're like, the father of our nation doesn't have a shrill voice, okay? He's got a deep masculine voice. Of course he does, because he's daddy, and we're the daddy of nations. So the daddy of the daddies has to be super daddy. That's our thought process. And so George Washington sounds like this. So we're finished with Fontaine. Now we go to Natlan and finish it off here. And there's a ton of Natlan. Natlan was great for these like extra artifact spots.
The wind rises.
Come on, come on. Yeah, okay, got your supplies.
Rev the engines.
Yes, it has to come all the way here. From here to here, because these are all underground. You'd have to climb to get here, so this one is in fact the closest. Yeah. To get to these birds that we have to touch, and then they come up and reveal investigate spots. And next, we'll want to come over here.
Behold!
Let's ride.
Having Mabuika makes all this Natlan stuff so much easier. I wonder if they'll do the same mechanic for No Try. Because part of me would be like, that's kind of chintzy, but also part of me would be like, I'm absolutely going to get them. Especially if there's a lot of artifact spots in No Try. So this is the same route we took right at the beginning, where we pre-loaded that one investigation spot. First we start over here with this bird, and then we go and finally take that investigation spot.
Quietly now.
Apparently, if you don't preload that investigation spot, if you come here after 100 and touch the bird, it doesn't load. So you can get that, and this one will survive after you do 100. I don't know how that works, and maybe that was like an error that's since been patched, but when I started it, that was the case, and I've just kept doing that since, so. By all means, do your own testing. Do your own research, guys. Do your own research on every single political topic there is under the sun. That's a valid use of a normal person's time.
Squall Fury!
This is where it's helpful on the minimap. I don't know if you can see, I got myself right over. Wow, I got myself right over where I have the symbol and just went straight down. Gotta trust that process. Don't trust that bird over there. It's a pyro. It's a waffle flower. Okay. And then this will be the last bird, but we're not done yet. Not for our A route. The birds actually respawn in 12 hours, so you can do the birds every single day.
Take it easy.
Even if you don't plan super carefully. The rest of those extra artifact spots are 24 hours, so If you're lucky, you can do them back-to-back days, but if you don't plan for it, it's alright. It's alright. I mean, do what you want. You can plan. You can literally set an alarm. Like, okay, today I'm doing 5 p.m. and then tomorrow I'll do 5:01. I'll start, and then the next day I'll do 5:02, and you'll get pretty far with that. Where is okay? Ororan.
Where to?
Let's ride.
He just makes it just a little bit easier to climb that mountain, and he's important for the next part, at least for me. So those are all the birds. The next one will require you to have someone from the Masters of the Nightwind, or you'd have to indwell the Ictomisaur. So I hope you have like Ororan or Sidlolly. Because otherwise I'm not exactly sure how to farm all of these. Yeah, those are just people. So here, you have to get someone from the Master of the Nightwind, and then you can focus on those symbols and get artifacts. Yeah, I think it's just so much easier if you have someone from the Masters of the Nightwind. Otherwise, I'm not sure where the closest Saurian is for you to indwell. Like, you'd have to really veer off route. This one's easy. This one, like, right next to it. Here, you have that Ictomisaur that you can indwell and then get that artifact. And then you'd have to... You wouldn't be able to sprint to the next one. You'd have to just walk that Saurian to this one. And then that one way over there. So yeah, I've never tried doing this without having a roll run, so if you don't have a roll run, I assume this is just gonna be so much more work and probably not worth it. Right at the edge here, you can indwell that Ictomisaur and then come down here.
Time to go.
Oh, okay. See, Ororan, I can stop in the middle of falling in order to get these. That's that there, down there, and now there's just a few more up here. Okay,
Time to go.
there's one. They're nice. They put one right next to it. Okay, that's those two. 3 more. I should really time myself because
The wind rises.
I mean, it'd be useful to know how much time I spend on this on the daily. And maybe I could actually like try to get faster at this. So yeah, this place. Okay, there's some Ictomisaurs over here. You probably had to fight them over here.
Time to go.
And that one, and then this is the last one. It's way up high, but if you have this teleport waypoint, and you can indwell that one right there to get this. So truly, they're all like relatively easy to do, except this line. Like, I didn't find any Ictomisaurs near here on the way. So this one you have to figure out on your own. But that was indeed the daily Genshin artifact farming route that I do. The A route. Tomorrow I can do the B route. But yeah, I don't know how many total artifacts that was. But it's a ton of artifact spots, like 140, 150 maybe.
Add Astro.
And you will just get so much more material with which to upgrade your 5-star artifacts. This is probably more useful if you like are farming at like a great rate. I don't get good artifacts at a good rate anymore.
Add Astro. Thank you for
Like, if you check my artifacts, I have, okay, 1952. A lot of these are 1 stars that I farmed just now, obviously. But I think I have 700 level 20 artifacts that just, hey, there's no point in me. I'm not getting them at a really good rate right now. Because a lot of my characters are already farmed for. And so I'm just looking for minor improvements. I'm looking for very specific pieces. But when they release a new character with a new artifact set, I'll be glad that I did all this. I hope. I hope this wasn't wasted time, basically. I'll be glad I did all this in order to have all the materials I need to upgrade them. That's it at that point. The limiting factor will be Mora. It won't be artifact EXP anymore.
This realm is...
Sorry for cutting you off, Tubby. Yeah, Tubby. Shut up. Okay. I also buy just these 3 mainly. I continue to make furnishings every day. Why, you ask? I'm not sure. Do I have everything purchased? Yes. Okay. Yes. Just not... a lot of them, I'm pretty sure I have everything at 4, and I'm just trying to get ones that might be like pretty to 6. Okay, yeah, I could use some more. What wood is this? Fir wood? I have 8 of those, okay. I really need to have done this in order, because now it's just so hard to pick and choose. Like, which ones do I have 6 of? Which ones do I have 4 or 8 of? I don't know. But also, like, what will I want more than 4 of these ever? Maybe I'll get some more of these. Those are pretty, and yeah, I have so much ore that I don't use for weapon EXP anymore because it's so rare to get a weapon that I want to level up. Like, I'm A-okay on weapons, so I don't need that ore for actual weapon EXP. I suppose all I have to do now is to artifact farm the normal way in domains, and then I should be good to go for the day. Okay. Right now, I am back to farming the Fartane artifact set. We know it, we love it. Denouement of Sin. Iconic. I denew my sins every day. What does denouement mean, actually? Genshin uses big words sometimes. Denouement. Denouement, the final part of a play, movie, or narrative
Having
in
a
which
favorite
strands
animal or vegetable or fruit
of
can
the
help us
plot
recognize what
are
kind of people
drawn.
we want to become.
In which strands of the plot are drawn together and matters are explained or resolved. That's nice. I think we just get a Nuvula here. Alright, alright,
My
alright.
guiding stars. Oh, my.
Let the mighty be humbled.
Not now. Don't be scared.
Nice. We love hacks. A little loud. Okay. Those substats are not good enough. Elemental Mastery. HP, it's kind of okay. But, okay, no. Because if it's attack, it would only go on Wriothesley. He might want Elemental Mastery. But not really energy recharge and not XP. It's not good enough. So honestly, I mean, like, the fact that those are attack pieces are pretty good, but obviously my standards are a little high, and that's why I'm not getting a lot of fish in the artifact sea, so to speak.
Let the world come on. My guiding star. Breaking out.
The tides beckon. Justice is blindsided.
I'm gonna start using big words in my everyday vocabulary. Denouement of sin. Denouement. What is the word of the day today? Defense. Okay, well this would be useful if you hadn't chosen the worst substats. Abstruse. A formal word used to describe something that is hard to understand. Well, I'm a fan of using abstruse language. As is Genshin, they love abstruse words, like denouement of sin.
Time to shine. Not now. Hold that pose. Truth bomb.
Silence. Be sanctified.
That was so fast. Well, okay. There's a chance. It needs crit on the last one, but it could be on Nubile, because he does need HP and energy recharge. Right? You do have some energy recharge needs, don't you? 142. Not that much then.
Shower me with praise. Let my name echo. Stars shine for. Say cheese.
Bow your head. The tides beckon.
Nice. Another day, another artifact farming session that got nowhere. Okay, no. And no. Okay. And I strongbox every 5-star thing I get. Right now, I'm trying to get some minor improvements on my Wonder Desert Pavilion set. I don't know if that's worth it though, because Maybe I should just put everything on Marchose because an improvement on my Neuvillette will actually see me results. I don't use my Wonder or Sino in the Abyss, and so I shouldn't need the best artifacts for them. But I don't know, I still want to. It still feels bad just to leave them in the wayside. Their artifacts aren't bad, but they're not great. But it's so hard to get an improvement. Other day of not getting anything useful from artifact farming, but that's okay. Oh, and salvaging helped me so much with this daily artifact farming. Okay, hold on. The likelihood is no, that this won't be useful. Okay. Okay. That's workable. But what do I currently have on my Neuvillette? Right? Maybe this is no comparison. Yeah, there's no comparison. Look, it's 4 useful artifact stats, both crits, rolled well into. Like, yeah, it's not gonna beat this. It's just not gonna beat this. So you had a chance, but you honestly didn't. Salvage, quick select, yes. Oh, more? How many of those do I have? 701 and 4012? Is there a limit on that? I hope not, but I might reach it. Okay. So I do think there is an event that just started yesterday that I can still do. I finished this one. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm a completionist, so okay. I can still do this quest. Navigate. Children of Echoes. Geo is my favorite element. But also I do favorite male characters. Sue me. Okay, sue me for having a preference. A biological preference. Okay, Sue. Am I sued? Are the papers coming? um This is where I go back to Shenyun.
One is fast on one's feet. Try to keep pace.
Nice. But yeah, so I didn't pull for any of the Children of Echoes characters, but I do like the yellow aesthetic. Okay, Flammabond Wood figure. Wait. This kid's name is Flammabomb Wood figure? Okay, and this Fontaine lady? Although the Master Warrior can't fly about like the Peacemaker, all she has to do to win is time her charge is right. Oh no, wait, that's the little girl. Okay, I thought it was the pretend. Okay, never mind. You blithering idiot. You can't just think of how fast she can run. That's Southern. That was country. It was a little whiny first, and I lost it. You blithering idiot. You can't just think about how fast she can run in a straight line. If she can't turn or hit anything, it won't make any difference. Just let country happen. That's enough, children. We can't have a civilized discussion, can't we? We're being civilized. It's just, well, when we talk about great warriors, we get pumped up. Don't you worry none, Miss Viggy. Weird name. We might be at war, but we're gonna fight with reason and evidence. Oh ho, I thought I just have a new strategy. I challenge you again. Rematch. God, why is my female voice so much less of a person than my male voice? sure is lively here. A new customer. Hello there. Wait, I've seen your face woven into scrolls. You're that Tumaini fellow all the children can't stop talking about. Wonderful. I can't believe I got to meet someone like you. Anyway, Honorable Tumaini, would you care for a chance to try this interactive woven scroll? Interactive woven scroll? Simply put, it's a game that combines Leeway's paper theater, Inazuma's comics, and Fontaine's film technology. I'm not a theater kid, I swear. There's none of that energy in me. It's inspired by our local heroes, and it adds the concept of crossover challenges to create a novel story. I'm sure it'll be an interesting experience. It might even be able to match the wondrous challenges you've imagined. With pleasure. Wonderful. Have a great time. If you're free, please feel free to give me your feedback. I have Kinich. I feel like Kinich is fun. I don't have fun. I have not bothered to learn how to play any of the others, and so I have a hard time with them. Trial coins and try to get the highest score. Oh god, I'm gonna be so bad at this. Okay. Hello, how are you doing? You're just in time to see me really trounce myself in this challenge. I'm never good at competitive games. I kind of don't like it when Genshin tries to add the competitive element in it. Wind Trace was the one that I was just okay at. Okay, wait. Yeah, travel above water and hold attacks to execute plunging attacks. Okay. Oh, I'm first. Okay.
Need a surfboard?
Oh, I'm doing terrible. Oh no. I'm so glad that you're a god gamer. Not even a god gamer, just a confident gamer. I can't relate. Oh, where are they? Okay. Ow. Wait, how many coins left me there? Why is she so much faster than me? Okay. Round 2. What happens in round 2? I can't worry about interfering with my competitors. I just have to get coins. The old-fashioned way, I suppose. $128. Where are the coins?
Chill out.
Oh, yeah. Chill out for real.
Need a surfboard? Carving waves.
Does that girl have 268? God. I think I'm supposed to be indwelling a Saurian. Like, that should be my path to victory, but no. Round 3? We're still doing rounds? Unless that girl... Oh, am I number 1? Oh, I need to find another coin now. Oh, 340. What? Oh, well, maybe I can get these coins. Come on. I need to get the coin. Most times in total? You mean just 1? Okay, 1200. Okay. God Gamer I am not. But that's a-okay. Maybe they're... Okay, but I'm not even going to be able to repeat that form again. I'm going to... They're going to, like, give me, like, Sit Lolly next time. Okay, every 2 days it'll increase again. Okay. That guy got ether? I can't believe I'm competing with the ether. If ether doesn't win, he should give up that name, honestly. Chaska, okay. Okay, sure. I think the important thing is maybe to balance refilling your bar so you can just keep in the air. We're each starting at our own corner? Okay. I can't believe I did that.
Giddy up. Yeah.
What? How do I descend?
Take me up. Let's run. Ha! Open fire. Giddy up. Ha! Giddy up.
Really? Yeah, that guy's 254. Like, okay. Why am I keep going down?
Take me up. Ha! Yeah. Yeah.
I have to avoid the SAR as well.
Giddy up.
He beat me. I think it was close though. 1050. That's less than what I got last time. Okay. One more and then I should not. I won't be at risk of capping too hard. But I won't have to like do so many in a row the next time. Okay, do you think this one's Knitch? Because if it's Knitch, maybe I can actually do something with all the jumping around. No, I was really bad. There was like an event that did this before too, where you had to collect coins with the Natlan characters, and I was really bad at Knitches. This looks like Knitches. No, this looks like... Oh, it is Knitch. Okay. Yeah, I was really bad at Knitches. I can't wait to do my boy dirty.
You really are a one-trick pony now.
My mistake.
10 points for agility. Points for agility.
Okay, okay. I'm doing okay. Not the best, not the worst.
10 points for agility. You really are a one-trick pony, you know. Points for agility. Points for agility. You really are a one-trick pony, you know. You really are a one-trick pony, you know.
Did I actually win that one? Oh my god, I actually won that one. Thank god, I actually did my boy proud. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Kenichi, in case you couldn't tell. Obviously. Is 1200 the max you can get? 360 at the end. Okay. So we'll be able to go to 6,000, which will probably be either tomorrow or the next day, so... Whoops. That was an instinct reaction. I don't normally do animal cruelty. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's everything I have to do in Genshin. All the events, everything I could do. Well, I think it's time to switch gears, so... Other than my Genshin dailies, I wanted to... Obviously, in case you couldn't tell, I'm very new at being a streamer, and so... I was going to... Finally, even though I've just already started, watch Ludwig's video on how to be a streamer. And then from there, follow its tips, and really try to do something with it. So I'm going to edit this to just be in just chatting, I suppose. Um, let's go with Streamer Community College. Done. I should also try editing this on YouTube as well, but I'm not sure how to actually do that from my setup. Yeah, okay, it's Streamer Community College, and then I have no lessons, and so...
Alright, every single person who said yes.
Okay. So obviously I've already watched like a little bit of this, but I literally have not completed any amount of it. Let me see if I can edit this here too. Okay, yeah, I can edit it. This does feel like it takes a long time. Maybe this is why people probably get other people to do this for them. Yes, okay, I'm calling it Streamer Community College because obviously I was not a streamer by the time Kai Cenat was doing Streamer U, and so I am just gonna start from online resources. Okay, so it's pretty good. Okay, let's go. Streamer Community College. Don't start. Okay. Streamer Community College, because obviously I was not a streamer by the time Kai Cenat was doing Streamer University, and so I won't get all those expert courses. I also haven't watched it, so maybe part of Streamer Community College will be to sit in on any videos that came from that. Right now, this is a 4-year-old video. And I feel like 4-year-old materials is totally fine for community college. I didn't go to community college, so I actually don't know. I don't mean to cast aspersions on community college, but the perception is that it is less than a university. So I'm not going to be the one to fight that narrative. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to do this community college. It's self-taught. It's unaccredited. It's the teacher and student are both myself, and it's just whatever I can find online. And if anyone else wants to learn anything, hey, maybe you have not seen these videos already.
So whether you said it to yourself or you voted, whatever it is, you need to do this right now. Write this down. This is not a joke. I'm being very serious. I want you to write this down. I know it's a
Okay.
bit corny.
Got
right?
it.
Try to do it on pen and paper. If you don't have it, you can do it on your phone notes
No,
and take a screenshot.
no shot.
But really, actually do this. Write this down. 3 things. First of all, if you want to be a streamer, when are you going to start? Set a hard start date when you're
I technically have
actually
already
going to start. If
started.
you've already started.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the date that you're going to start your YouTube or start a new series or whatever it is. Just write some date where you're going to start achieving something you've been saying
I
you're
will
going to do.
create a
Number 2,
TikTok
write your
about my
goals
channel
for 1 year.
tomorrow.
This can be for the start of 2022, maybe one exact year, maybe a few months. It doesn't really matter. All you need to do is have a set period of time and goals you would like to achieve by the end of that set
Okay,
period of time.
got it.
Now, look, this is not your end goals. If you want to be the biggest streamer in the world, you don't have to write, I want to be the biggest,
Be the biggest streamer in a
in
year?
2022. It's not
Yeah,
really
of course. I
realistic,
do, though.
but
I do.
You can write goals on the way to your final goal.
Okay.
And it's okay if you don't have everything figured out. At least write something down that you would like to do.
What is
And hey,
realistic?
this doesn't have to be numbers. Like,
Nope.
streaming doesn't necessarily imply you need to be a big streamer.
I
Maybe
thought it
your
would be
goal is
100
just
average
to make
viewers.
a community that you really like being a part of.
Oh,
Maybe it's just to record all of your Rocket League gameplay, in which case it's very easy to achieve your goals. Success isn't based on how big of a streamer you are. It's based off the goals you set and your
Okay.
ability to achieve them in a certain time frame. All right? That's what I think, at least. That's how
Got
I've done
it.
things, and that's what I'm telling you to do. It's my advice to you. And then the final thing to write down.
okay. So we can write down our 1 year goals and just say, like, okay, I know this is 4 years ago. This so far feels pretty evergreen. So we're going to write about 1 year goal. We're gonna say it's hard not to do numbers. When you're Asian, everything kind of boils down to numbers. Whoa, notification. People are blowing up my phone, by which I mean my one friend. Okay. 1 year goal. I do think like maybe 100 average viewers is a hard, but like if you get lucky enough, achievable goal. Let me know if that's completely out of whack. I don't know what stall streamers for. I don't sure. I don't know what the small streamer trajectory is normally like. And then what do we actually want to do? Streaming. Well, this part of streaming is that like it's not that hard to talk to people online. Maybe I do want. Maybe I want to make a new friend that's in the streamer community. So make friends that are. God, do I have to play League? Like, what are the team games? Because I don't even. Maybe my problem is I haven't had friends to play team games with, so I haven't enjoyed playing, or I haven't ever played like Minecraft, Rocket League, Fortnite, League. Like, maybe my problem is I don't like have people to play with, so I never did. Make friends that are down to game and stream together. How many friends? He said we don't have to do numbers. I want to do numbers. I want to say maybe a community of 5 people. That feels realistic. Part of it is like really hard in my mind to separate the idea of like, oh, so we're going to like if I made a friend that was a streamer and we wanted to stream together, it would be really hard to like consider them like a real friend, I think, because it's like the way I view like my normal friendships is that you don't really ask anything of them. the only thing you're asking of them is like their time and like respect, I guess. But these are things that like humans should just naturally give other people, really. Um, like I don't feel like the equation feels pure on friendship when all I'm getting from them is their time, humor, and all the stuff that's normal. When I'm also getting maybe like a monetary benefit or like there's like a clout benefit, or like if I were to have a relationship or friendship with someone where that was part of the equation, I just don't know if I could. It'd be more valuable. You know what? Like, it would be more valuable. I feel like, in my mind, I would be going hyper insane trying to like make sure it's not like I'm taking advantage of them, because in friendships it's very equal. It's very equal. It's very easy to be equal. Okay, we go to a restaurant, we split the bill based on what you ordered or half or whatever it is. Um, any time I'm spending with you, you're also spending with me. We're both giving our time equally in this situation. We're both like giving the respect probably of like showing up on time, you know, making plans. Like this all feels, it's very easy to be reciprocal when, I guess, if I was streaming with someone, if they were bigger than me, then I'm obviously benefiting more, and it's kind of hard to like separate that from the relationship equation. And maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm an overthinker, so sue me. Um, I mean, obviously, I have not crossed this bridge at all, so we'll cross this bridge when we get to it. I think the difference would be if like we never talked outside of streaming. I would feel like a little bad. I'd feel like, is this truly like, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to update. I'll have to journal about that really hard. Like if I ever make a streamer friend, I'd have to journal about that. There's got to be at least 5 entries on that subject because it's just like a field that I have never played in. Um, and then is there any game or gameplay that I want to record? I don't really have great gameplay. And I've already recorded myself doing, like I wanted to record myself going through the Star Wars The Old Republic storylines and like making sure like, oh, I made those choices, so I should like keep them. Right? But I've already done that in private and I didn't need to stream to do that. Um I guess streaming just makes it easier to do that. Really not sure what a third goal could be. So we have viewers, maybe we have a community, and maybe well, okay, how do I measure having fun with the process? Um, 100 average viewers, like weekly uploads on YouTube slash TikTok, maybe? I'm not sure what the TikTok frequency should be for like that algorithm, but maybe we like reach a point where we're like good with that. And then what else? How do I measure if having fun with it? Like, journal every day. Obviously, I'll need it, right? That's just like make sure I'm not like falling through the cracks, but I don't know about what it'd be like to, hmm, how would I measure having fun? Could I be honest with myself if I was having fun? Oh, yeah, don't compromise morals. I don't know if Ludwig will ask me to like make sure I don't compromise my morals, but I guess I will just put that here. And I'll have to lay down what that specifically means. Probably at the end of this. Have fun. Okay. I'll put that there, not sure how to quantify it at all. But maybe okay, so 1 year, right? 100 average viewers, 100 average viewers. Maybe make 5 friends in the streamer community. Um, Upload weekly to YouTube and TikTok. Journal every day. the rest are just for me. Journal every day, don't compromise morals, and have fun, right? That feels, these feels like it could be achievable. It does. Nice.
3 to 5 creators you want to emulate. Not necessarily that you like, because maybe you like Shroud, but you don't frag like Shroud frags. So, write someone that you like that you think you could emulate. Here's an
Oh.
example of mine. I've done this. I know I'm being a bit corny, but this really happened. I did this in 2018. I wrote down all my goals. I didn't actually just do it for stream. I did it at New Year's. I did it for many different things in life, but these are my stream ones. I wanted to hit 2,000 subs, 100,000 followers, 1 million unique viewers. I want it to be punctual, and I want it to go full time. And I went 4 for 5. 4 for 5 is pretty good. That is pretty good. 4 for 5. We'll take
Punctual.
80%. That's a B minus.
It was probably
That's a 3.0.
punctual.
Almost 2.667. Still pretty close. Still pretty close. At the end of the day, I was able to set goals and then hit them. I hit these goals by the end of 2018. And then I was able to keep going. Part of the reason you do this is because, hey, it's very obvious that streaming's not for everyone. It's also obvious that it's better to take a shot on something than to never try it and regret that. But how do you know how long to do it or what to do? Well, this does that all for you. If you write down your goals and you set a time frame to hit the goals in, then at the end of the period, right, at the end of next year, 2022, you can reflect. You can be like, hey, I went 0 for 5. My goal was to hit 100 average viewers, and I'm at 15. Maybe I am not cut out for being
Okay.
a big streamer. And that's
I don't know
honest
how
conversation
many
you can have with
subs I
yourself,
have.
but only if you do the work now to set
10K
goals, to
followers
set
on
time
a
frame,
platform.
to understand it, rather than just kind of
Maybe.
9 to 5 grind. I just go live. I'm just doing my thing. I've been doing this since 2018. That's all shit. All right? At least set yourself some sort of time frame so you have some sort of growth and progression
Okay.
that you can accurately and
I
objectively
don't think subs is
look back
part
at.
of it.
I
1
also
million
put the 5
uniques is
streamers
interesting
that
full
I
times.
liked and
Okay.
thought I could emulate. CD in the third.
Maybe 2
I think
years.
he was one of the best streamers, still is, in terms of integrating music. If you've ever thought, like, damn, Ludwig uses music well on stream, that's because CD in the third. Nick Merckx, he's great with his community, and he added stakes to every single Fortnite game. He taught me a bit about stakes. He taught me a lot about community. Soda, I've always thought was like the GOAT streamer. I thought he was like the best streamer. I know nowadays he just does whatever the fuck he wants, but I thought through and through, in terms of like, if you were to look at any streamer, I still think Soda Poppin' probably the GOAT. Clint, I thought his YouTube was some of the best shit. He was able to turn just random streams into really good YouTube videos, and he was very personable. But, you know, obviously I can't emulate Clint to a T. He has this ability that every single fucking human on earth just loves Clint Stevens no matter what. I don't have that. You can think I have that. I promise you I don't have that. And then finally, Mango, a man who has maybe 1,000 viewers, 2,000 viewers, but 10,000 subs. If you sub to him, unsub, and then resub 3 months later, this is true, Mango will remember, and he'll call it out. He'll be like, oh, Pirate Oliver, hey, you're a resub, aren't you? You used to sub like 3 months ago. And so his ability to remember made people, and he has this superpower, I truly believe, to make people feel so included, which sometimes involves making people feel very excluded so that everyone else feels included. But that's besides the point.
Okay.
That's my 5.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, man, what a genius YouTuber. I was just gonna pause. Okay. But yeah, I don't even have. The problem is I don't follow the creator space. Okay, creators to emulate. Creators that I think I could emulate. Truly, Fuslie. Number 1. I think like in terms of I'm obviously not that bubbly. Who is like the down and out negative? Like, is there a streamer who's like kind of just got a negative worldview? Who's like Fuslie? It's fun. It's just constantly fun. And my vibe is a little more we're kind of in the shits and like maybe let's like have a joke. And that's being generous to myself, honestly. That I could come up with a joke while being down and out. Okay. Maybe. Um yeah, I could try my standard routine. Okay, I got a type 5, right? Okay, how about this? Things are looking rough right now with Donald Trump and Elon Musk, but you gotta remember that that if you make an anagram of Elon's name, it's Loan. It's Loan Musk. This was always bound to be. It was in the cards, so you know, I could have seen it coming from a mile away. Loan, and then if you anagram his last name, Lone Scum. Whoa. Whoa. What were his parents thinking? What were his parents thinking? Anagramming their child's name from Lone Scum? Hello? Thank you, thank you. I'll be here I will be here all week. Okay. 3 to 5. He said 3 to 5. I don't have to do 5. I just need to do 3. Can I do Valkyrie? No. No, just no, I can't do Valkyrie. I should probably write her anyway. Oh, I can't do Fan Fan. I can do Extra Emily. I can potentially do QT Cinderella. I could potentially do Cutie Cinderella. She is definitely someone I follow probably the most. It's probably Ludwig and Cutie. I'm loath to write Ludwig. I don't know if I can do the things he does. Um, but should that not be a goal? Like, I don't think I can do it right now, but if Ludwig is a creator that, okay, but he said not just that I like, that I can actually attempt to emulate. Can I actually attempt to emulate a Ludwig? I don't know. That's a very big I don't know. And then if I just said like all the OTV people, like that would probably be not necessarily the best. Like I feel like they cornered the market on what they have, like Fusely, Quarter Jade. Like I feel like they cornered that market. And so I would add nothing to I would be able to add nothing to break in, basically. Can I do what Duck TV does? He's a Genshin streamer that I follow. He was doing a subathon for at least a year, I think. Wow. Could I do what he did? I don't know. If I went full time, maybe. But just streaming for a year? That's insane. How did he keep up his friendships? I have no idea. I have no clue. But at least it just feels more approachable. That like level of community building, he's kind of built a Genshin community, and I think maybe on that front, maybe it's the community building aspect of like QT Cinderella of Doug TV, where I'm like, this makes sense. Like, oh, I can build a community that like kind of like frequently does things together, and based on that community, like that's part of my strength. Like that does not feel unreasonable to me. So in that case, I can probably try to achieve that. ContraPoints live. Can I exhibit motherly virtue like ContraPoints live exhibits motherly virtue? That's the question. Um, she only streams on YouTube and she's not a streamer. She's like a video essayist that I follow, and she goes live like infrequently, and it's to play like strange liminal games, um, or Elder Scrolls. Why is she? And she's not a good gamer, but she's still got like her keen sense of like humor. Way, you know. I don't know if I can count her as like a successful streamer. She is a streamer I want to emulate. Like she's a successful streamer because she has a following from YouTube that is willing to watch her stream. That's good enough, honestly. It's good enough. Um, and then let's see. Who else? Is there a fifth person? Um, these are all kind of pretty unique, honestly. I like the spread of what we got here. I could probably also highlight like what specifically about each person I want to emulate. Now, I have not put Valkyrie or Ludwig because those feel, no offense to all the people here, those feel especially unapproachable. Oh, Sykkuno. Okay, Sykkuno's a god gamer. I can't like emulate Sykkuno in any shape or form. Like he's like really good at games. And a lot of these people not known for being good at games, which is why I feel like I can emulate them. Anything that involves skill in the game, I'm not going to be able to do, right? um, so let's not do that. We can put Valkyrie right here. We can put Ludwig here. These are not great gamers, but I couldn't put Sykkuno here. I couldn't emulate Sykkuno. um, I mean, 4 is good enough. 4 is good enough to start with, for sure. Extra Emily? I could not create the comfy, but recreate the comfy vibes that is Lily Pichu. I could not do that. And I can't sing. So what am I supposed to do there? Is there another like pocket of streamer that I can like emulate? I can't do what Point Crow does. Maybe I can't do Doug Doug. Maybe I could do Parkster? Maybe Parkster is what something I can lean on? Jade Animations, maybe? Maybe? No, I mean, probably not. She's talented. I need to stop, like, I need to, one, stop dissing myself and by comparison dissing all the people I've listed already as potentially emulatable. By saying I couldn't emulate some other people. Okay. I think maybe I can do. You know what? Who actually I could, I mean, like, I'm nowhere close, but maybe I could try to emulate Caroline Kwan. That is how we spell her name, right? Caroline Kwan. Yes, maybe I can emulate Caroline Kwan. Maybe. Okay, this is a good list of 5. This is definitely a good place to be. Okay. Thank you, Ludwig, for pausing. This quick break, hey, I hope this break was in fact 15 minutes. Because headache guy.
If you didn't write anything down, but you want to be a streamer, this is the #1 best thing you can do. The absolute only lesson to take away from today if you want to make it big on Twitch. Quit.
I love that. Actually, you know what? I love that. It's so
quit right
it's
now.
so my prophecy.
That is my advice to you. Yeah. If you didn't even take the 1 to 2 minutes to write something down from a man who is a top 100 streamer who knows a thing or two, then I promise you, you will not make it through 0 1-viewer streams for 5-6 hours at a time. It's going to be miserable. You're going to hate it. It's not going to be fun, and you're not going to achieve your goals if you didn't.
We love not achieving our goals. That's
sort
of my life.
Trying to be mean, but let's just take a guess. Chat, I want you to guess right now. Tell me the number of people who streamed last month. 50,000. Sure. 650,000. Wow.
200,000.
5 million. Okay.
No. 200,000. 200,000.
Big range. It is 6.9 million. 6.9 million unique streamers every month.
We love. He knew that number was going to kill us.
It is very well known. It is very mainstream, and it is very competitive. If you wanted to become the best employee at Walmart, the largest company in the world in terms of numbers of employees, you'd have to beat out 2.2 million people. That's just the numbers. That's just the facts.
Oh, wait, that actually feels like a lot. I feel like I could do, I feel like I could be the best worker at Walmart. And given that, I just need to work 3 times as hard. given that, okay, this looked insane. This 6.9 number looked insane. But do I think I could be the best employee at a Walmart? Like across all of Walmart, including corporate, which let's be real, probably wouldn't do that much, right? Yes, I do think I could be the best employee at Walmart, and I just need to work 3 times as hard as it would take to be the best employee at Walmart to become the number one streamer. And when you frame it like that, to become the number one streamer is just only 3 times as hard as it is to be the best worker at Walmart. When you think about it like that, I think it's very achievable. Suddenly, it all becomes very achievable.
World. It is 3 times harder to do that on Twitch. And look, I know that some of these streams might only do it once and whatever, but at least you can try to gauge the numbers. Just for even more reference, there are 45,400 partners. Those are people who I would say have made it. And made it is loose because to be a partner, to apply, you only need 75 average viewers, which, you know, it's a good amount. And there's weird things that they do that they accept and don't accept. But at the end of the day, 0.66% of people make it here on Twitch. And so I had 20,000 people like my tweet on Twitter. And so
Nice.
mathematically, about 120, 150 people will make it. The other 21,000 XXX, peace. GG. It's
Nice.
just a fact. It is just a numbers game. And look, don't let that be too daunting to you because there are some pros. First of all, you make your own hours when you stream, and that's a good
Okay.
thing. That's
No, but
really
it's
high.
way
You're
too
your
many
own boss.
hours. It's
This,
way
just
too many
for some
hours.
reference, is how many hours I work. It's not insane. It's not as many as someone who's like a doctor or whatever, but I streamed this many hours, November, December, January, past 3 months. And I spend about 25 hours a month on YouTube. That's one, making thumbnails and titles, but mostly actually just looking at what works and trying to re-emulate that success. And then like 20 hours on business, whether it's like calls for sponsors or like when I do a stream on chess.com or whatever it is. I spend, I would say, roughly 200 plus hours a month. And then there's also the aspect.
But then you have to think about how many hours he's built up on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's spending 25 hours on thumbnails and stuff and YouTube refinement, but like, he's done that for like however many years up to this point. So he already has like an eye for like, oh, and a mind for what YouTube's like algorithm is favoring in terms of thumbnails, in terms of titles, you know? And so, I mean, at any moment that could get thrown out the door. They could change it slightly, tweak it, and then all your previous stuff is out the door. But the longer you have on this, it just builds up like that sort of acumen. And so for me, I'd probably have to spend like even 3 times the hours. And probably I wouldn't spend 3 times that. I spend the same number of hours to get 1/10 of the result.
That I'm always on. You know what I mean? Like, I have to have my phone and my Twitter notifications ready in case something big happens. Whether Corpse tweeted at me or they need an Among Us player. You know what I mean? Like, I just have to be available. I can never necessarily be off. But I'm about 200 plus hours a month. You don't have to be available. Sure, I don't necessarily have to, but I would lose out on growth if I'm not. And I think
200
that
hours a
part of
month
the
isn't
reason
that
I'm
bad. Like
successful is
4
because
weeks
I
a
am
month,
available.
40, that's
And you'll see
160.
people like Carl
So
Jacobs, who's
you
blown up. Doesn't matter if you like him or hate him. Carl Jacobs is blown up on Twitter and Twitch and every platform. And Carl has post
8
notifications
hours
for
plus per
every big
week.
YouTuber. So if they tweet, he sees it, he replies. People see him in the replies all the time. You'll see Carl on your timeline. I guarantee it. And it's because Carl is never off. He's always on. Yeah, maybe that's only an hour of Carl's day that he's on Twitter, but it's also an hour, 5 minutes from 9 till 9. You know what I
Dang,
mean?
that's kind of
This
insane.
is something to keep in mind. You can
Carl
make a lot of money.
Carl
And this
ate
is how much
that.
streamers make. This is rough. I don't think we're allowed to say
Carl
specific numbers. It goes against
constantly
contract. But
on
roughly, if you average 100 viewers, I think you can expect to make about 1,500 on stream.
go.
Honestly, if you're a small
I don't know.
streamer,
Maybe Carl's
the
done
amount of
something
money
bad
you'll make will be higher
since.
because people like supporting smaller streamers, so you'll have more whales. It's kind of like a bell curve where people really like giving money to smaller streamers, and then middling streamers like 1,000 to 5,000, not so much, and then big streamers they go back to being whales and stuff. But this is per month. This is monthly. I would say you make about 2,000 a month if you average 100 viewers. If you ever average 1,000, then you start making pretty good money. Honestly, I put negative here. I think you'd be losing money on YouTube at this point. You probably wouldn't be getting enough views, and then you're paying your editor. Please pay your editors, by the way. Okay, I don't care how much you love Bernie Sanders. You gotta pay him. No offense. So you gotta pay your editors. So you're probably losing money on YouTube. We'll get into that in a bit. You should still be doing YouTube. If you start getting to like 1,000 viewers, then you start making pretty good money. And bear in mind, this is before tax, and you'll be taxed a little bit more than a normal job as a contractor. But regardless, you still make pretty good money, and you have the upside to make a lot of money. Now, this 10,000 viewer number is obviously varies wildly, but I even looked at a streamer like Tens. That's actually where I pulled this. Tens, he has like 5,000 subs. He has a contract with an esports org. He has
Okay.
a thriving YouTube channel. Like, he is making a lot of money. There's definitely the ability to be a millionaire if you make it to the top. I will say, though, and this is important, let me switch over for just a moment. If you're wondering, because we talked about making it is 0.66%, let's just talk about making to that 10,000 viewer mark. You might be thinking and
yeah.
seeing millions in the eyes, which is great. I mean, sure, dream big.
0.66%
whatever.
is point
But let's
like
talk about
1%.
Stans. I do a lot of streams of Stans. Stans averaged 400 viewers this past month. Stans has about 700 subs. Stans is the top 0.06% of Twitch. Think about that. You don't think of Stans as a big streamer, but in reality, he is top 5,000 of 6.9 million. This is truly impressive if you get here. Truly. And I mean that. That is a big deal. And it is very hard to do. But this is more realistically your upside when you start streaming rather than a channel like mine or a channel like XQC's. I know I told you to write down your goals and dream big, but also just understand the math and the numbers. Stans is a top 0.06%. He's the top like 10% of the top 0.6%, and that's all the partners. So that's just something to keep in mind. He's the top 10% of all partner streamers, and that is a realistic goal to have. You should at this point have found out whether if you wrote things down, you are even cut out for step 2 or not. But if you did write things down and you did actually do what I told you to do, anyone can take advice from the second part. How do you stream? You already figured out that you do want to be a streamer, why you want to be a streamer, what your goals are as a streamer. How do you do it?
Yeah.
How do you stream? Well, this is my one advice, my biggest advice.
How long has Stans been a streamer though? How long did that take? I do want to see. Okay, wait. Back to like that graph, right? Viewers and stream time dynamic. So January 20th. So and then July and then January. So these are 6-month gaps. And it does okay, but when you think about it, like that's 2 years. January, that's 1.5 years. So like basically you are doing like several years of nothing, like 1.5 years like he's done of just nothing, of just like not nothing but like middling, probably like a few viewers, like he was down in the trenches like everyone else is. And then like, but when you get like a growth, like somehow some algorithm favors you enough that you are on a growth track, then you get to that point in like 1.5 years, like the growth increases and keeps compounding on itself, you know? Like that's like kind of interesting. That's really like gives me hope, is honestly that like at any moment, like what this is actually doing when you're streaming for like 1.5 years to like nobody is kind of just a proving ground for yourself to, one, show that you can do it to yourself, and two, to like get better at the skills so that if and hopefully when you get something on some algorithm that gives you the uptick, that you can capitalize on that. I think that's what it is, based on nothing. But like, you know how like if you get one lucky break, you're able to like capitalize on that and continue the growth from there, and it's not just one blip. I think that might be the difference. I think that 1.5 years of just streaming to basically yourself puts you on the track to capitalize. That's just an idea. Obviously, based on someone who's right now here. in like the beginning of the nobody's watching trenches. So yeah, we shall
Stands as the
see.
top 0.06%
Okay, yeah.
of Twitch. For you to know that that is have built, anyone can take advice from the second part.
Got it.
How do you stream? You
How
already
to get
figured
that
out
lucky
that you
break.
do want to be a streamer. Why
It's
you
to
want
pump
to be
out
a streamer,
content and pump
what
out
your
some
goals
varied
are as a
content. Try out
streamer.
different things, maybe.
How do you do it? How do you stream?
Thank
Well,
you. How do you
this
do
is
it?
my one advice, my biggest advice. Streams are recordings. That's what it is in 2021. That is the best way you can think about a Twitch stream. Why? Well, let's think about a YouTube video. YouTube videos have some pros that normal streams, conventional streams don't. YouTube videos have built-in growth mechanics. All right,
Yep.
the algorithm. A YouTube video can pop off. A stream can't really pop off. You know, like you can go live and I tomorrow can buy a first edition booster box from Pokemon that cost me 400,000, and I can go live on a brand new channel, and no one will see it. Literally no one, because
That's
there's
so
no
sad.
way for you to know that that is happening, and nobody is digging through the 5,000 zero viewer Andys, one viewer Andys on the just chatting section. So that's why Twitch fails in that aspect. YouTube doesn't. Also, YouTube is
Don't call
permanent.
me Andy.
You upload a VOD on YouTube, a video.
I'm
it stays.
Carlisle.
Twitch, it's live, and then the VODs are up for 60 days, and then they get deleted. And let's be real, even if they didn't get deleted, nobody goes through to find VODs. Not really. It doesn't really happen. It's just a fact that VODs are absolutely terrible on Twitch, and I don't see that changing. And so the permanence of a YouTube video means that even if it doesn't do well in the first month, maybe a month or two from now,
I also feel really good about like I've used AI. Let it be real. I've used AI to like make a um what was it, a D&D character like image, and and I did it specifically after that story came out about how much money they were losing on it. I was like, okay, so you're telling me that if I use your engine, you lose money? That's the only time that I'm gonna feel like morally okay about using your engine. Maybe it ultimately works out in their favor, right? Because then they get the metric of like, oh, more people are using it, then they're gonna like sell, and then in like a few months you're gonna have to like pay premium price to use the image feature. Who knows? I'm sure that's how it works. And that was just for me. The system, the house always wins. Let's be real. Okay, never mind then. I was about to say that, like, also on YouTube, like, it takes a lot of money to store these videos that have 0 views. It's kind of insane that they're offering that service for free. It really is.
you'll be able to look back and be like, oh, this video actually
They
did
are
well.
losing
You can't
money
really
on
do
me
that with
uploading
streams.
videos
For
to
example,
YouTube that
I
are
did a
getting 0
stream
views.
the other day. I did the higher lower stream, and it did okay. I had an okay number of viewers on Twitch. I had like 22K, but it didn't do that great. But my YouTube video has right now 560,000 views, which is 100,000 above average. The fact that it's permanent on YouTube lets me see that. If I only had Twitch, I would be like, oh, if I play higher or lower on stream, it's only okay content. No, it's better than okay. It's just that people didn't know it was happening or weren't live to watch or busy, whatever. It's harder to get viewers on Twitch in the moment, and it's bad to gauge success off of your live viewer count when it can be influenced by so many variables
Okay.
and be so Dogecoin-esque, if I can. Next, structured format is better content. This is general advice, but generally, YouTube videos are structured. I think we kind of know that. You know how a YouTube video generally goes. Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back here with another, you know the vibe. Twitch streams don't have structure inherently built in, which usually makes them a bit worse.
Okay. Just for myself, I started recording on OBS, and then I'm gonna see what it saves and how much better that quality is than what is going to be saved to YouTube. Because I had a mind to just like save the stuff to YouTube, just like let that, but the quality was really bad, and it might be better if I just record it here, and then this is what I can use to like make shorts, make TikToks, maybe this is honestly what I re-upload. Something like that. Who knows?
Structure just allows you to have a very concise beginning, middle, end. And a very concise beginning, middle, end is usually better than just a hodgepodge of whatever the hell you're doing while live. And then finally, every YouTube video is a lottery ticket. Like I said earlier, If you upload a YouTube video, it has
That's
a
what I
chance to blow
said.
up.
Okay,
It
yeah,
really
yeah.
does. If you go live, you're never really gonna have that chance to blow up off of a stream. The only people I can think of that blew up off of a stream either were like collabing with somebody really big, or came from a platform with a lot of viewers. Nobody just blew up out of nowhere overnight on Twitch. YouTube can happen overnight. I mean, literally overnight, you can blow up. And you've seen that time and time again. Dream literally was like a 10K Andy on YouTube at the start of 2020. He's doing pretty well. That would not happen if he only streamed. Admittedly, this whole thing was about how to stream, and we've only talked about YouTube videos.
Yeah, nice.
That's because it's time to start formatting your streams around your YouTube videos. So you have to stream for YouTube. Now, when I go live, I'll have segments, and that's how I think of it. I'll have segments for YouTube, and I'll stream those segments, and then I'll have like filler time in between, and then
Okay, that's really interesting. But like right now, the meta is no longer YouTube videos. It's got to be TikToks. So you got to have a TikTok mindset. And but like TikToks are much shorter, right? So maybe I mean I could honestly like go into stream and just like have an idea of like at some point maybe XYZ location. I wanted to make a TikTok on this topic. Like, okay. And then knowing that at some point in the video, I pop off. Maybe when there's fun visuals in the background too, you know, maybe I get good enough that I can play while talking. And so, like, there's fun hi yaws from Ether in the background while I'm talking about XYZ thing I wanted to yap about. And then I can go onto Yapper TikTok and maybe blow up there. That's like the idea. I think you can create both. I think like you can have maybe for each video, for each stream I do, I try to have one idea for, well, not each stream. I don't know how frequently you need to upload to YouTube. But for maybe ideally for each, you have an idea for the YouTube video and then you have an idea for maybe one or two TikToks and then you just like at different points do that. That's not a terrible idea.
I have some things that aren't for YouTube. And that's fine, but you need to have some segments. Very roughly, they work like this. They'll have a an introduction to the idea, to what the segment is while you're streaming. I'm going to give you an example of a YouTuber doing this because I think that this is probably the single best YouTuber, and they get a credit for a lot of other things, but they don't get a lot of credit for this at introductions. And that's, of course, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, I think, is the best YouTuber at doing introductions. And even though we're talking about streaming, I take away, and you also can take away, how to do these intros on Twitch. Let's just take a look at this.
In this video, we are going to be eating $100,000 golden ice cream.
I'm blown away. This is so good.
It's way too much.
This mac and cheese is magnificent.
$30,000 banana Foster.
Ooh, that's incredible.
And so much more, starting off with $100 ice cream and working our way up.
That was 19 seconds top to bottom. And what did the introduction do? Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. It introduced the idea, the concept, of what they're doing in the stream. All right, so explained it. If you're going to be watching what's happening. 2, it introduced stakes. Stakes are an integral idea into every stream. You need stakes in whatever you do. It just makes it better. Stakes can be very small. It doesn't have to be the amount of money. That's the stakes for this one. All right. So the idea is we're going to be eating expensive foods. The stakes are that every food will increase in price. And then it also says how this will end. How does this whole journey come to a close? Well, it comes to a close when we eat $100,000 ice cream. That is how it closes. So then the video, you can expect that they'll start eating foods, the stakes increase, all right, there's more and more and more and more expensive things. It ends when they eat that ice cream. That's the entire thing. You can do the same thing on Twitch, and we do it all the time here on this channel. For example, we just did unbanned form speedruns. Okay, introduce the idea. We're doing
I really wonder how he got this, because obviously I don't really have an active chat, but like, how would you display that? Man, I need to know so much more about OBS. Is it text, GDI? I could just put this here. Then it's like, okay, you can see like whoever's messaged, but like I don't know, that doesn't feel like the same thing rather than adding a source. Oh, that's something to figure out later.
band forms, but we're speedrunning it. Okay, that's the concept. What are the stakes? Well, the stakes are we want a good time. We want to try to get world record. This costs no money, but those are the stakes, trying to get a good time. When do we get to the conclusion? When we beat the time and get the world record. Very simple, all right? And the meat and potatoes are me just doing the runs. Introduction says everything that's going to happen. Conclusion is when I finally got the world record. Very easy, very straightforward. You don't necessarily need money, but you can create streams in segments that have all three of these aspects. And when you stream for YouTube, the beautiful thing about it is your stream is better, but also you get a YouTube video that is very easy to edit. You can just edit down because everything's built in, and you get to trim out all the fat until you have just this beautiful lean YouTube video that is the 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, of gold
Okay.
of the 30-minute hour recording. So it's just a win-win-win. There's no losing here. And don't get me wrong, it is still fine to go live and do regular streams. I actually had a problem when I first started streaming where I would only do segments. I was like, if it's not a segment, it does worse on viewership. There's no point. I just need to do segments. Well, you can do both. And I've learned that. That's something I had to learn, and I had to deal with things like
Okay.
numbers going down.
That's
and
really
viewership
nice. That's
going
really
down,
nice to
and
know.
That's something that takes a bit of
Because
time.
I
That's like a
imagine YouTube
personal journey. You just
videos
have to
are
someday
weekly, a weekly upload schedule. Maybe that's not for the best right now. Maybe it's, I don't know what the meta wants on YouTube, like short form 20 minutes for twice a week, or is it like 40 minutes once a week, or is it like 15 minutes every day? Or is it 40 minutes every day? It literally could be
get
40
over
minutes
it.
every
It's something
day.
I can tell you. You just have to one day get over it. But I've learned that I can do segments, plan out segments, and then do like I'll call it filler content. Think of XQC streams. Most of his content is like, it's not really for.
Okay. Really great stuff, Ludwig. I do think I have karaoke plans tonight, and I think I have to head out to those now. So I'm just gonna stop the recording and stop stream. But thank you, and that was very informative. I feel very galvanized to actually really do this, like a solid attempt at this.